Hi, my name is Brian Davey. I am presenting on my final paper for Anthropology 242 at UAF on the impacts of global climate change on native Alaskan communities. Climate change heavily impacts the Arctic due to location, and indigenous groups in the region are particularly impacted due to subsistence lifestyle, culture, and dependence on the natural environment. On this slide, I have listed some of the environmental effects on the Arctic due to climate change. Sea ice is decreasing because of higher temperatures and erosion. It is also physically taking longer to freeze up and is thinner and weaker ice. Melting permafrost makes riverbanks and other areas more susceptible to erosion. This is true because it acts as a buffer against sea storms, and its absence these storms cause greater erosion. Both permafrost melt and increased precipitation have been causing increased flooding, and inland water bodies water levels have been changing. Both land and marine animals have been altering their migration patterns, and changes in most prominent species and health have been evident. Plants have also been impacted, as what was once tundra is becoming more and more populated by trees. The declining sea ice is causing for shorter hunting seasons, with earlier breakup and later freezing. This is changing the territory of the hunts. Certain animal populations that are hunted for subsistence are dwindling, and going out onto the softer ice is making it more dangerous to go out to hunt. As habitat shifts due to vegetation changes and takes over the tundra, there are impacts of human health due to the associated flora and fauna changes. There are human health issues related with all effects of climate change. Water that is clean and reliable can be lacking from the after effects of sea storms, erosion, flooding, and water facilities are built on melting permafrost. For example, infectious disease can increase. And decreasing weaker sea ice makes storage of food such as whale meat difficult as well as dangerous to hunt for. Mental health can be affected when so many different effects are such a regular part of daily life. One such case study where most of these global change effects have been felt is the native Alaskan village of Kivalina. This is a village of a population of a few hundred people in northwest Alaska. It has been hit almost annually by very large waves from sea storms. It has been losing coastline due to erosion in part from permafrost melt. The local water facility was destroyed and remained unfixed for some time, during which time infectious disease increased. Homes, schools, and other infrastructure were also destroyed. People have wondered about subsistence food supply and livelihoods, as difficulties with hunting, animal health, and location change and storage have all arisen. Some village members, mostly the very young and very old, left early on at the onset of all this activity. In fact, Kivalina has been considered to be in imminent danger by both the state and federal government for some time, and has encouraged its evacuation. Part of the problem and why this has taken so long is the high cost of relocation, based on estimates from the state government. To try and help with this, residents look to the energy producers in the region that they argue were at least in part responsible for the effects of climate change due to their creation of greenhouse gas emissions that were forcing them to move, and argue that they should take on financial burden of the relocation, saying that it was a public nuisance because the energy producers' actions were taking away the village residents' ability to use and enjoy their land. The village residents brought this argument to the court system, where it was dismissed for not meeting the common law public nuisance claim requirements. The court said that the case was dismissed because they were to base a decision on non-existent greenhouse gas emission standards, and that there was no way possible to pinpoint an energy producer as the specific pollution location causing the damages. The village appealed the decision, but they lost because the court stated that federal common law was basically trumped by the Clean Air Act, federal statute. The court decision and the appeal was based on a precedent set in a case. This case was Electric Power Company versus Connecticut, and in that case, basically they addressed abatement and not compensation, which is what the villagers of Kivalina were actually seeking. So there was some controversy over that. Native Alaskans are heavily impacted by climate change in health, socially, and economically, and are very aware of the situation. Even though they are disproportionately impacted by climate change effects, and the Arctic is commonly used as an early warning indicator for the effects of climate change, nonetheless, Native Alaskans have limited ways in allowing their input into shaping the government policies concerning climate change.